20 years ago, Hurricane Katrina brought a level of devastation the United States hadn't seen in modern history, and New Orleans was at the center of the disaster. New Orleans, which sits below sea level, was inundated when its levee system failed, flooding an estimated 80% of the city. And as a result, more than 1,400 lives were lost, and the damage totaled over $200 billion. Katrina remains one of the worst natural disasters in American history. Its impacts are still deeply felt, especially by those who lived through it, including the healthcare heroes who faced unimaginable challenges during and after the storm. One of those heroes was Dr. Bennett DeBoisblanc, who was working at Charity Hospital when the storm hit. The crisis would go on to reshape his views on caregiving and medicine overall. Dr. DeBoisblanc, now recently retired from his role as professor of medicine and physiology at LSU Health New Orleans, joins us now to share his powerful story. Doctor, first of all, congratulations on a well-deserved retirement. Thank you for being here with us on Fox Weather. You were working in the intensive care unit when Katrina struck. Can you walk us through what that was like in those first critical hours?
Sure. Thank you for the retirement wishes. It's been 7 weeks after 44 years of teaching medical students and residents how to care for sick patients. We had practiced these code grade drills many times. New Orleans is not unfamiliar with hurricane scenarios, but this one was somehow different. This is the first time I can remember in my lifetime, and I'm a native of New Orleans, that there was a mandatory evacuation. And what a lot of us didn't recognize beforehand is that there were a lot of people who either would choose not to leave or who could not leave the city because they had no place to go, they had no money, they had no gas, they had no transportation. So there were people all around New Orleans, about 100,000 people in and around downtown New Orleans when the storm struck. We were in Charity Hospital. We had evacuated as many patients as we could prior to the storm, but there were about 50 or so critically ill patients and another maybe 200 patients with other medical problems, again, who had no place to go. Charity Hospital serves the underserved, and many of them were without shelter. And so when the storm hit, we had a couple of hundred patients, some family members, and a lot of medical staff inside the hospital. Now, Charity Hospital had a generator system, but unfortunately, that generator system and the switches were on the first floor. So when the city started to flood, we lost power. And the storm came in, I believe, on a Sunday night. We lost power late that Sunday night. And when we lost power, we lost all of our ability to use traditional methods to care for these patients. The ventilators went out, the X-ray machines went out, all the laboratory equipment went out. We lost water. And what was critical is we really lost communication with the outside world. And I did not recognize it at the time, but the first casualty of a disaster is always communication. And although we were told that help was on the way, help did not come on Sunday or Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday. We were 5 days before we got our last patients out. Wow. And really help came from initially from locals, local fire department, people who lived in the community. And then from outside of New Orleans, it was interesting. We had a telephone that had a dial tone, but no one seemed to answer the phone. And then one day, someone answered, and it was Wolf Blitzer in the Situation Room, and somebody was listening to that show and said, "Hey, look, I can send you some help," and started sending in helicopters. And that was Wednesday night. But what we couldn't do was evacuate patients directly from Charity Hospital. We had to float them out a couple of blocks to a parking garage where we then moved them up to the rooftop where we could start air evacuating them. So we set up a little intensive care unit in the parking garage, and we're up there for a couple of days before we were able to get the last patient out. Wow. So I personally left the hospital on Friday. The storm came in on Sunday. So it was about 5 days kind of battlefield medicine. It was surreal for a
That's a great
civilian
way to put
doc,
it.
for sure.
And doctor, you said that very casually. I think that's indicative of the service of caregivers and medical professionals. 5 days, you and your team were so overwhelmed in so many different ways by a set of circumstances that really has no comparable event in American history. What motivated you to keep pushing? I would have to imagine mentally going through such a terrible thing, day 3, 4, 5. What's going through your head at that point?
Well, it's interesting that the first 2 or 3 days were the toughest because we were waiting for people to come rescue us, and that approach, I think, really ruined everyone's esprit de corps. When you depend upon other people for your salvation, you're in a bad place. And it wasn't until Wednesday that we started to recognize that to get these patients out, it was going to be up to us. And that's when we started to move, and that's when the morale picked up. And I would like to say that each and every person I worked with did his or her job. It was stuff we were trained to do. It was an unusual circumstance, to say the least, but we weren't heroes. We were just operating in unusual circumstances, but we just did our jobs.
Yeah, but your job was to be a hero, and you and your team most certainly were. This was a horrific situation, and your story, the story of your team, is an extraordinary one. So, Dr. Bennett DeBoisblanc, sometimes we see the absolute best in people in the worst of times, and this was a shining example of that. So, thanks to you and your team for what you did 2 decades ago, Hurricane Katrina, this week. Thank you for sharing your story with us on Fox Weather.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, Fox Weather is your Hurricane HQ. It's stories like that. Katrina taught valuable lessons to all of us, including forecasters. It shaped the way across the board how we respond to hurricanes today. We continue that conversation in part 3 of our docuseries, Katrina's Wrath 20 Years Later. You can get your brand new episode tonight at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. That's right here on Fox Weather.